You start as a weak survivor, but 30 minutes later, you are a literal god, wiping out whole screens of enemies. That is the crazy power scaling of Risk of Rain 2. The progression loop happens entirely inside a single run. Every chest you open gives you stackable items. Get 10 syringes and you shoot like a machine gun. The game gets harder every minute, forcing you to find loot before enemies become unkillable monsters. It is a constant race against time to build a broken character. But wait until you see how one specific item combo completely breaks the final boss into pieces.
You will lose your sleep trying to build the perfect deck in this game. Slay the Spire makes card-based progression feel like pure dopamine. Every battle rewards you with a choice of 3 cards. At first, your deck is weak and basic, but as you climb the tower, you find rare relics and powerful card combos that feed into each other. Suddenly, a simple poison card turns into a massive damage multiplying engine. You are crafting a highly fine-tuned machine where one wrong pick ruins everything. Just wait until you unlock the 4th hidden character who completely changes how the entire game is played.
Terraria looks like a simple 2D game, but its progression system is deeper than most modern RPGs. You start with a copper short sword, chopping down wooden trees. By the end, you fly around with wings, shooting laser swords. Every single boss you defeat completely alters the world, unlocking brand new tiers of minerals, armor, and weapons. The jump from normal mode to hard mode feels like playing a brand new sequel. You always have a clear goal: mine better ore, craft better armor, and kill a massive boss. There is a specific post-game weapon that requires you to fuse 9 different swords together, and getting it takes a crazy amount of dedication.
Dying in Dead Cells does not feel like failure because the permanent upgrades keep dragging you right back in. This roguelite thrives on the blueprint system. Every run, you collect cells from fallen enemies to unlock permanent weapons, mutations, and health flasks. Even if you get crushed by a boss, you return to the start stronger and with a bigger pool of cool weapons to find. The progression completely alters your playstyle, turning you from a slow, cautious fighter into a fast-paced, teleporting ninja. But the real game does not even start until you absorb your very first boss stem cell.
Do not let the peaceful farming vibe fool you.
Stardew Valley has one of the most addictive loops in gaming history. Every single day in the game gives you a tiny bit of progress. You level up farming, mining, foraging, fishing, and combat. One day, you unlock a sprinkler that waters your crops automatically, saving you precious energy. The next day, you upgrade your axe to clear big logs. You are constantly unlocking new crafting recipes and building community center bundles. Wait until you fix the old boat and unlock a completely hidden tropical island filled with new secrets.
Subnautica turns exploration into survival progression by making you genuinely afraid of the deep ocean. At the start, you can only swim underwater for 40 seconds before gasping for air. But as you gather blueprints and titanium, you upgrade your oxygen tank, build underwater bases, and construct massive vehicles. Every single upgrade lets you dive a few hundred meters deeper into darker, more terrifying territory. The progression is perfectly tied to your survival, turning the scary deep ocean into your personal playground. But there is a massive creature waiting for you at the absolute bottom of the map that you cannot outrun without the final vehicle upgrade. Cyberpunk 2077 completely revamped its progression to give you the ultimate sci-fi power fantasy. The combination of attribute points, perk trees, and cyberware upgrades is phenomenal. You start as a low-level mercenary with basic pistols. By investing points into reflexes or intelligence, you unlock insane skills like air dashing or hacking enemy cyberware through walls. Visiting a Ripper Dock to replace your skeleton with chrome or adding double jump legs completely transforms how you move and fight. But there is a specific secret ending that you can only survive if your build is absolutely maxed out.
Destiny 2 masters the sci-fi looter-shooter loop by making every single gun drop feel highly important. Your progression is tied to your power level, which increases as you find better armor and weapons. But the true addiction lies in hunting for god rolls. You will grind the same strike or raid dozens of times just to get a weapon with the exact combination of perks you want. Leveling up your seasonal artifact unlocks unique mods that completely shift how you play every few months. Wait until you try your first 6-player raid, where your gear build actually determines whether your team wins or wipes. Borderlands 2 is the king of the looter-shooter genre because of its insane weapon variety and rewarding skill trees. With literally millions of randomly generated guns, the progression never gets boring. You constantly find weapons that shoot exploding bullets, fire acid, or talk directly to you. Each character has 3 distinct skill trees that completely change how their action ability works. Reaching the ultimate true Vault Hunter mode scales the entire game up, forcing you to think carefully about your elemental damage and shield combinations. There is a legendary shield called the Bee that completely changes how you damage bosses, but finding it requires a specific grind. Warframe offers a completely free-to-play progression system that is wider and deeper than most paid games. Instead of leveling up just one character, you build and level up dozens of different space ninjas called Warframes. You farm blueprints, gather materials, and wait for items to craft in your ship's foundry. The true depth comes from the mod system. By leveling up card-like mods and slotting them into your gear, you can take a basic rifle and turn it into a weapon of mass destruction. The game completely changes after the second Dream Quest, unlocking a massive narrative progression mechanic you will not see coming. In Monster Hunter World, you do not level up your character's stats, you level up your actual gear and your personal skill. The entire progression loop is beautifully simple. Hunt a giant monster, carve its materials, craft better armor from its body, and use that new gear to hunt an even bigger monster. Every armor piece gives you unique skills like critical eye or earplugs. Weapons have massive upgrade trees that branch into different elements. It feels incredibly rewarding because success depends entirely on how well you learn a monster's attack patterns. Wait until you reach Iceborne's endgame, where a single mistake against a black dragon will instantly wipe your whole team.
Diablo 4 takes the classic dark action RPG loot grind and turns it into a highly addictive daily routine. Getting to level 50 is just the beginning of the real grind. Once you unlock the Paragon board, the progression becomes a giant customizable puzzle. You place tiles, unlock stat boosts, and insert powerful glyphs that alter your entire build. Hunting for ancestral legendary items with perfect stats keeps you clearing nightmare dungeons for hours. When a unique item finally drops that fits your build perfectly, the sudden power jump feels amazing. But the real challenge lies in the pit, where a ticking clock determines if your progression build is truly perfect. Hades makes dying feel rewarding because every single failed escape attempt moves your overarching progression forward. When you die, you return to the House of Hades with darkness and keys to spend at the Mirror of Night. These give you permanent stat boosts like extra health or death defiances. You also unlock weapon aspects that change how your sword, spear, or bow behaves. During a run, the temporary progression of stacking Olympian boons keeps gameplay incredibly fresh. Getting out of the underworld once is just the beginning. The real story progression requires you to do it multiple times. Path of Exile has the most complex, intimidating, and deeply rewarding progression system ever created in an action RPG. The moment you open the passive skill tree, you are greeted by a massive constellation of thousands of nodes. Every single class shares the same tree, meaning you can build a witch that fights with two-handed swords. On top of that, skills are gems that you socket into your gear and link with support gems to alter their behavior. The endgame Atlas progression lets you customize exactly what content you want to farm, giving you absolute freedom to create broken builds. But one wrong node or unlinked socket can ruin your entire build against the ultimate pinnacle bosses, leaving you to wonder if you have what it takes to survive the Atlas.